ASMR podcast where we talk about all things spirituality, personal development, and so much more. Here we align the mind, body, and spirit to live our most authentic lives. Sometimes we whisper, sometimes we soft speak, but every time we expand, grow, and relax. So sit back, grab a drink. I have my drink right here. I've never drinking it. I don't know what it is, and if you're watching this on YouTube, you see it, and I do not know how to pronounce it. And if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you might hear me pronounce it wrong. But it's this, oh my gosh, I don't even know how to pronounce that flavor. Lychee flavored ramune. Oh my gosh, I'm messing it up so much. Fun marble drink, carbonated soft drink. I just got it in the store, and apparently you're supposed to press down on this marble and drink it. Do I do it with my finger? I don't even know. Let me just press down real quick. Okay, wait. Maybe I press down with this. Yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, you see the struggle right now. I don't understand it. I might have to, okay, wait. Okay, my boyfriend had to help me open it, but we got it open, and let's try it. I hope you paused this audio or video and went and grabbed yourself a drink, but it's kind of weird, but it's actually good. I got this drink the other day, and it had lychee. I don't know how to pronounce it. At the bottom of it, like boba stuff. And it has a marble in it, and we had to pop the marble. And that's why I sound like I'm out of breath from going downstairs and, walking down the steps. Alright, anyway, episode 6. Today, I don't have much of a plan for this episode. I am just going purely off of inspiration because I have been in this state of resistance towards certain things, and I've been learning a big lesson, and I was going to talk about, next week's episode, so stay tuned for that, and you'll hear what I was going to talk about today, but instead, I'm going to be talking all about resistance. So, the reason why I'm inspired to talk about it is because I've been doing a cold plunge, which if you don't know what it is, it's like an ice bath, but my boyfriend has one in his garage, and it's like a refrigerator type thing, or freezer, and the water is 42 degrees, 42, 43, and I go in it for 2 minutes. I've only been in it so far 3 times, but those 3 times, especially the second and third time, I have faced the biggest resistance. Your mind will tell you, do not do it. My mind thinks of that as death. Anything outside of the comfort zone for the mind is death. And, you're not gonna die doing certain things that are out of your comfort zone, but the way the mind perceives it is with a fight or flight. And both times, last time doing it, both times, because I already knew what to expect from my first time doing it, which my first time, it was tough. I did, 2 minutes? I did 2 minutes every single time. The first time, it really hurt my back. We'll talk about resistance in a moment, but this is a really important part of the lesson that I've been learning, but it hurt my back so much, painful, and I think, how we respond to adrenaline in 3 different ways: fight, flight, or freeze. I think I freeze, and I froze, I couldn't really think. I was so focused all 3 times, this focus of survival, and my back hurt so bad the first time. Thankfully, the second and third time it didn't hurt too bad, but the second and third time, knowing what I was getting myself into was so tough, and both times, that the whole day, I did it today, for a couple hours beforehand, it kept popping up in my mind, knowing that I had to do it, and I actually created a bad mood because, I was also hungry, but I was so resistant. I did not want to do it, and we had to go to the gym right after, resistance at first and then get benefits later down the line. We delay gratification when it comes to something that is good for you, and we get instant gratification for anything unhealthy. Just know that what you resist is probably so good for you, and you probably know that, okay? When I'm going to be talking about resistance, I'm going to be talking about resistance in the sense of resisting quitting your job and starting your dream, resisting starting that YouTube channel, or, going to the gym, getting that work done, resistance of a dream of yours, anything that you want to do in life, but you're so resistant because of XYZ or the fear of something. So, anything that is good for you will definitely be hard at first. But, number 2, the thing that I wrote down is, what you resist the most is usually where you have the most potential. Because life is duality. Life is dual. With the good comes the bad. And when you're in this state of resistance, it is the bad. It's the suffering of the mind that wants to stay in the comfort, the mind that is resisting and telling every cell in your body to not do something because it could be the unknown. We're gonna go with my YouTube channel, for example. I resisted it for 4 years. 4 years I waited to start because I was so resistant. I told every single person, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel. I'm gonna blow up. I don't know, that's going to be my job and I'm going to do it. I always said that, but I never started. So much resistance came up within me. Resistance and fears of not being good enough, not being worthy, being too boring, being too this, that, knowing that people have done this, what makes me special, what makes me think I can start something when it already exists. It's too saturated, XYZ. All these stories to try to stop me from fulfilling a passion and dream of mine, and everything stopped me. And I wasn't living in alignment with that inner voice to start, which leads me into number 3. I know we're going quickly, but it's a sequence of events. Thinking in the anticipation of something only makes matters worse. So, with the cold plunge, we're going back and forth, but with the cold plunge, for example, thinking about it was so much worse than the actual cold plunge. The cold plunge, I dealt with it. It was fine. I actually loved it. It wakes up my soul. But the thought of it, the anticipation of it, made me sick. Made my bones. I was literally shaking cold, but also so nervous. The thought of it made me sick. I actually didn't feel good. It was crazy. My mind, and you might relate, my mind is so bad when I'm thinking of the future, because the mind just goes into survival when it comes to the unknown. And when I thought about the cold plunge, my body was just going into survival, and when I actually did it, I was genuinely fine. So, here's my message. Resistance. Number 1, the thing that you are resisting is really good for you, but not only good for you, it is meant for you, and you have a lot of potential in it, and the anticipation of it, the thought of it, is so much worse than actually doing it. Let's get into that. So, you will stop yourself so many times in life with thinking. If you're watching this, maybe you've gotten already sucked into the resistance and you let it take over. resistance. And sadly, I'm here to tell you the only thing to do is to do it. The only thing that will help with resistance is to take that action, to take that step. And I have a little 5-second rule that I learned from Mel Robbins. It's actually her thing, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 rule. The 5-second rule is giving your brain 5 seconds to take that action, to get out of bed. She constantly uses this, getting out of bed and not hitting snooze as the analogy of your mind. If you let it make an excuse one time, you will keep allowing yourself to come up with excuses as to why you can't sleep in. Your mind makes a choice. It has 5 seconds where it has a space of neutralism, of being neutral towards a situation. 5 seconds. And let's say you're thinking, oh, but it's making a YouTube video and I have to get ready and I have all this time to think about it. The 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 rule goes with every single step. If you want to make your first YouTube video, for example, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you get to your bathroom and you do your makeup. If you're still feeling resistant and hearing these thoughts, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you set the camera up and you go on autopilot. You do what it takes until you can push past this resistance. A lot of the times, I'm a big overthinker, but for me to do certain things, I need to not think. When I do the cold plunge, I can't sit, and I have to always go first before Jordan. So me and Jordan, we do it together, which is my boyfriend. And, we're doing it at the same time. Both have our bathing suit on. But I have to go first because I will say I feel like I have a little bit of a weaker, I can get sick based on thought. I can make myself literally shake with fear based on thought. He's really good and he's had a lot of practice with this. He has a skydiving license and everything. He does these things that make him fearful purely for the sense of pushing past that resistance, and it's like a muscle. And I'm only learning to train that muscle right now. And I have to go first because I cannot think about it. I have to just dive into it. And that's always been my thing where I can't, sit in this energy of indecision or sit in the energy of this indecisiveness when it comes to things that I resist, or else I will always fall into the victim of my mind telling me that I shouldn't stay comfortable. You don't need to do that. And I am learning to train past this, and what it takes is pushing past and just doing and giving yourself not too much space to think or contemplate, or else you will always stop yourself. And what is good for you is meant for you, and what you resist, you most likely have a lot of potential in. And if you're going to take anything away from this, it's that. If you're resisting, starting that business because of all of these thoughts, your resistance is gold, because it means that you have so much potential in that. Because like I said, where there's dark, there is light, and the more dark, the more light. There's a quote by Napoleon Hill that says, every adversity, every failure, every heartbreak carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. And I like to think of that not only with, every dark, I'll make more episodes on this, because first of all, my boyfriend told me this quote so long ago, and it really pushed me past resistance and believing in myself. And for the longest time, I did not get results on YouTube or with any of my content creation. I've actually been making content, I just realized this today, for 3 years, and it was very slow at first. And at first you face many doubts, many ideas of why am I even doing this, and then you start resisting when you don't see the benefits right away. This goes for everything. This goes for, your business, but it also goes for the gym. When you don't see the results right away, or you don't feel like the cold plunge is really doing boundaries. We don't have any support. It might take a while because we're so used to instant gratification that we resist things that, we kind of have to delay the gratification. And we resist, like I said, the things that are good for us. But with this quote, every adversity and failure carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. That also means with resistance, there is something great that lies there. There is something beautiful that lies there. And I always go back to this idea when I'm resisting filming, because I can get really lazy, and when I'm in that state of resistance, I always ask myself, how will I feel after I film? And how will I feel tonight if I don't film? And I propose that question to myself, and I always realize I will be so much more proud of myself if I just film. And then I just do my makeup. Sometimes, you don't want to do something so much, so you kind of can put yourself in this autopilot of just taking the action and not really thinking about it. And I don't mean force yourself. That's not the message of this either. Like, if you really don't want to do something in that moment, be gentle with yourself. But this episode is on resistance, and I am all for self-care. I've been off track with a lot of habits, but that's okay. There's always a new tomorrow or a new day, and it's okay to be kind to yourself, and it's fine if you have gone sucked into these thoughts and haven't taken action. Like, don't be hard on yourself. Don't beat yourself up focusing on the past, because it's gone. But for now, we're not talking about like being gentle with yourself. We're talking about pushing past resistance. And there are some moments where you might have to go on autopilot. Like when I'm getting in the cold plunge, I just have to not like, the definition is I can't engage. I can't really be in my best energy because I just have to get this done, So sometimes when I don't want to film, I do my makeup. I don't want to be doing my makeup, but then when I start filming, I'm fine. Like, I'm not forcing it. It's like getting there. That's the hard part. Getting into the action. But then once you're doing the action, it's great. Energy flows, energy comes, and energy will be there afterwards. After filming, I feel great, and that energy is what charges me and pushes me forward in the future, thinking I will be so much more proud of myself if I just got XYZ done. I feel great and so proud of myself because I did the cold plunge and I went to the gym. And we have to really use pain and pleasure to motivate us. Tony Robbins talks about this. Our behavior is derived from two things: chasing pleasure or running away from pain. And, the cold plunge, it might be pain. It is painful. Like, it does not feel my body. It's painful in the moment, but the pleasure afterwards, you get in this high. You really get in a high, and you're just so proud of yourself for pushing past that resistance, and your body feels alive. Your inflammation is gone, and you feel good, and you have to really charge up that pleasure of knowing how good you felt and remember it the next day when you're going to get into that cold plunge again, and remember the pleasure of taking that action, so that when you do it again, you can push past the resistance. I think we stop ourselves with resistance so many times because we think we don't have a direct focus of pain and pleasure. If we don't know the pleasure of something and what it's like to get it done, and if we don't really emotionally charge that, we kind of are in this neutral state of listening to the thoughts, of listening to the procrastination, and just really kind of going on a negative autopilot of no action. And we kind of scroll on, social media, distract ourselves, and we end up feeling worse about the situation. And just knowing that pain and knowing the pleasure of getting something done and emotionally charging it will fuel you to take that action. And if that doesn't work, the only answer really to push pushing past resistance is action. And understanding that the thoughts and the fears and the resistance and the fears of what people might think once you start your channel or put your voice out there, you know, do the thing that you've been wanting to do but have been resisting to do. Once you realize that those thoughts are going to be worse than actually doing it, you have to ingrain that in your soul deeply. The imagination, the ego's imagination of what people might think or why you shouldn't do it or why this, why that, that state of resistance based on the ego's fear, that is only trying to keep you alive, but you are not your thoughts. I know this episode is everywhere, but I made an episode 2, where I talk about you not being your thoughts and kind of detaching from it. And I think that'll really help you in this, you know, inspiration and motivation to push past resistance, because you really have to learn to detach from your thoughts. Because if I listened to every single thought, I would not be filming this. I would be laying in bed eating sugar all day. Like, honestly, I'd waste my life away. And we have to really get down to the question of what is emotionally worth it. Pushing past this resistance and getting what I want, or staying in the resistance and staying in the illusion, thought-based ideas of what people might think, or, you know, what this and that, why you're not going to be successful. You know, we have so many thoughts just because our ego loves the known. It wants to keep us comfortable. It wants to keep us safe. But you also have to remind yourself, you are not going to die. You know, I have to think about that before I do the cold plunge. I have to literally tell myself, Haley, this is good for you. This is good for you. It's okay. You're not gonna die. It's healthy. It's good. And trying to convince your mind of that, because I realize that resistance is the very thing that will make you die. And the reason why I thought about this, now, this is a little side story, but me and Jordan were talking about hypothermia and how does that even happen. If you're listening and you know how hypothermia happens, then forget about what I'm about to say, because I don't know much about hypothermia. You know, I was just thinking about it because I was thinking about the cold plunge and being that cold, and I'm thinking, what degree does it take to go into hypothermia? And I was thinking about the Titanic and how Rose didn't die, and then he mentioned Wim Hof. Like, do you know about Wim Hof? Because he does, just a little background, he does, you know, he's very into breathing exercises, and he hiked some cold mountain. Bear didn't wear a shirt, and he hiked this mountain in the snow, I think even bare feet, and like, he does crazy things. You can search him up. I don't know too much about him, but I know about the Wim Hof method and the breathing, and he does crazy cold plunges, ice baths in snow, etc., etc. And it comes down to the realization that everything is a mindset. And I'm not saying that hypothermia is a mindset, but I think when you resist something, you make it much worse. If I were, let's say, in very cold waters and I was resisting it, I make it worse. And it's not about your body, it's about your mind resisting it, resisting the moment, resisting what is. This can be in many senses, not just starting your dream job or quitting your job or resisting doing work or going to the gym. It's also about resisting your life. Resisting life. Resisting the moment because you don't like what you're feeling. You know the definition of resistance. I'm going to act it out real quick. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcast, I'm kind of like act it out, but you'll hear it in my voice. But let's say I'm resisting the cold plunge. Or actually, no, let's say I'm resisting anxiety, because this has happened. And Alan Watts says that anxiety is having anxiety about having anxiety. So you're resisting the anxiety. So let's say I have resistance right now, okay? Or anxiety. Oh my gosh, why am I feeling this way? What's happening? Oh wait, no, I shouldn't be feeling this way. It's really weird. What do? I don't want to be feeling this way. yourself more in the state of anxiety because you're resisting it, rather than this is acceptance. Ready? Oh, that's interesting. I'm for sure feeling anxiety right now, but it's okay. Let me just wait this out a second. I'll breathe. It's okay to be feeling this. I'm okay. It's normal. I'll just let it pass. I'll give it a moment. That's accepting anxiety. And before I do the cold plunge, I get really nervous. You know, I get sick. I wanted to gag. Like, I was so nervous. And today was actually the hardest time doing the cold plunge because I was resisting it even when I was in it. Like, I was just, oh my gosh, I just couldn't. Like, I was resisting it, and resisting it also makes you shiver. Like, me and Jordan, we both shiver when we're resisting and fighting the water. But if we mentally accept it and just accept it as it is, it's easy. It gets easy. Pushing past resistance is such a rewarding gift. It's such a rewarding feeling, and you know this if you've done it before. If you've been wanting to go to the gym and you did it, you feel great about yourself. Charge that pleasure. Make it more pleasurable than the pain of the moment of doing it. And when you charge up the pleasure, every time will get easier. You train the muscle of pushing past resistance. So, I might go, I'm actually going to go further into resistance in future episodes because I also want to talk about resistance of life. I know this was more so resistance of like things, but I actually was everywhere during this episode. I hope you liked it, but it was kind of everywhere. The real message is to just push through and just do it. Like, that is the only answer. Just taking the action, just doing it, getting it done, getting your mind out of your disassociating if you need to, and getting it done. And there you will find it will be more and more rewarding, and then it will get easier and easier because it's like a muscle and a habit. You know, it takes 21 days to form a habit. Well, it takes probably 21 days to push past resistance. Actually, no, because resistance, it does come even years down the line, but you have already at that point have trained the muscle of pushing past the resistance, and I promise you it will be so rewarding, and you'll be so grateful you've got it done. And your thoughts are your worst enemies. The thoughts of resistance, you know, everything is mental, and if you can push past the mental and disassociate with that, you're gold, and you will live out your potential. Make sure you go watch episode 2 where I talk about the thoughts and the ego, because I talk about how the ego just wants to keep you in comfort, so that helps a lot with resistance. But also just know deeply that what you resist persist, and you have a lot of potential in your resistance. So I highly encourage you to push past. I'm in support of you, and I believe in you so much. Wherever you're watching this, make sure you subscribe and follow. I post every Wednesday at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time, and I hope to see you again very soon. I love you so much, and